alive for 13 presidents. And I have never seen anyone like the president that we have. I can't even call him the president. Right. That has been willing to destroy our country.
Like on paper, he looks so good. You know, he was brought up rich. He had a good education. He's got all these young chicks. I don't know how young, but he's got all these young chicks. And he just keeps trading them in on younger chicks.
And the people who will suffer the most are millennials, and they will suffer because the people he will bring with him will put an end to any hope that women have of getting the rights that we had in Roe versus Wade.
Cher has observed 13 presidents over her lifetime, giving her a unique longitudinal view of the office. She identifies a singular departure under Trump, a willingness to test institutional limits in pursuit of personal financial and political advantage in ways she considers unmatched in modern history. This assessment rests on documented policy decisions, including tax code changes that benefited real estate holdings, and the use of public office for private branding. As detailed in congressional reports and ethics filings from his first term, her critique extends beyond policy into character. Cher draws on publicly available biographical information, Trump's upbringing in a wealthy New York family, education at Wharton, and well-chronicled personal life to highlight what she sees as a pattern of leveraging privilege without corresponding responsibility. Divorce court records, business filings from the 1980s through the 2010s, and consistent media timelines show multiple marriages and relationships characterized by significant age differences and serial replacement, which Cher presents as evidence of disposability that mirrors broader attitudes toward commitments. Personal patterns, according to Cher, foreshadow consequences at the national level. She focuses on judicial appointments and their ripple effects on future generations. Trump's 3 Supreme Court selections directly enabled the 2022 Dobbs decision, overturning Roe v. Wade, a shift anticipated in Federalist Society lists and confirmation hearings. The Pew Research Center shows millennials entering their prime family-forming years during this period, making them particularly vulnerable to changes in reproductive health care access, family planning resources, and legal protections. Cher extends the concern to same-sex marriage and adoption rights, noting that Trump endorsed judicial philosophies prioritizing originalist interpretations likely to narrow precedents established in Obergefell v. Hodges and related cases. Public statements from Trump allies and Project 2025 documents later reinforced these directional risks, even if not every proposal was
Something, and then you go back and you see what he said, and it seems like the truth both times. He's so terrific at lying. I've never seen anybody so good. I mean, it's amazing. I could go on and on this subject forever.
I don't know why he has no milk of human kindness in him, but I don't believe that you could just get a drop out of him.
We're really suffering because we had no help. We had no leader. So, I mean, it's really, you know, if your president doesn't care if you live or die, that's a pretty hard pill to swallow.
Adopted. Cher identifies Trump's communication style as uniquely effective, yet destabilizing. She points to his ability to deliver statements that sound convincing in real time, only for them to conflict with earlier or later records. Extensive fact-checking archives compiled by PolitiFact, The Washington Post, and FactCheck.org during his presidency cataloged over 30,000 false or misleading claims, many repeated despite public corrections. Cher uses this pattern to explain her personal sense of trauma, noting how the confidence and frequency of assertions made contradictory versions appear equally credible to audiences. This leads her to examine the human impact of such leadership during a national crisis. Cher references the widespread suffering caused by insufficient federal coordination, when the country needed unified direction most. Accountability reports, including those from the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Crisis, documented delays in PPE distribution, inconsistent public messaging on health measures, and fragmented relief efforts that left hospitals overwhelmed and families without timely support. She emphasizes the psychological weight of feeling abandoned by the highest office, where the president's perceived indifference to the daily loss of life became a central source of national distress. Cher turns to what she views as the root cause, an absence of fundamental empathy. She questions why Trump appears to lack the milk of human kindness, describing a drive for ultimate authority without a willingness to perform the sustained work of governance. White House staff turnover data from the first term, the highest in modern history according to Brookings Institution tracking, along with multiple memoirs and congressional testimony, reveal resistance to standard policy, preference for personal loyalty over expertise, and frequent disruption of institutional processes. Cher contrasts this with the traditional expectation that presidents, regardless of party, engage in the difficult labor of coalition building and detailed execution, rather than simply projecting kingship. Her final observations tie the communication patterns, crisis response shortcomings, and character assessment into a unified warning by repeatedly returning to her long personal observation of American leadership. Cher argues that the combination creates a leadership model detached from public welfare. Official timelines of the 2020 election period and post-election actions further illustrate the gap between stated commitments and institutional adherence that reinforced her deep concern. Cher's sharp negativity toward Donald Trump stems from a fundamental clash between his leadership style and the values she has championed for decades. As a longtime advocate for women's rights, LGBTQ+ equality, and government support for vulnerable populations, she viewed Trump's policy record as a direct threat. His appointment of 3 Supreme Court justices who helped overturn Roe v. Wade, his administration's attempts to limit transgender protections, and public statements questioning gay marriage rights represented, in her view, a clear rollback of progress she had celebrated in earlier eras. Beyond policy, Cher saw Trump's personal conduct and communication as corrosive. Decades of documented business controversies, multiple bankruptcies, and a pattern of inflammatory rhetoric toward opponents and minorities conflicted with the empathy and stability she expects from national leadership. Her personal trauma